Can you remember when you first met?
Yes.
Okay.
His friends had gone to Walter Reed and picked him up at the hospital to bring him home for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when my girlfriends were gone with his buddies, and they got us together on a blind date. And let's see, where did we go?
Did you go somewhere?
I was trying to think. I think we went into around Wilmington. There was a place in there known for its milkshakes. And so we all rode in there and got a milkshake and came home and just sat around and talked till his buddies. Of course, he didn't go back to the hospital till on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Always had to be back on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And then when they did his surgery and they put casts on his legs, like they do your arm, a cast if you've broken your wrist or something. Mm-hmm. And he was able to walk on them.
Oh.
And he would drive himself from from Washington to Delaware, which was about an hour and a half drive.
Oh, my.
With those things on.
Just the cast.
Casts on, yeah.
Oh,
and
my.
he could walk, little ways without losing his balance.
Yeah.
So.
How often did you see each other?
Every weekend.
Every weekend? Mm. That's great.
Except Saturdays, because I babysat every Saturday, and that was a thing that was already written out for the University of Delaware, the professor. I babysat every Saturday night for them. They'd come pick me up and bring me back. And that was my spending money for the week.
Oh, okay. Now, did he stay somewhere in the area, or did he go back and forth to the hotel? Oh, that's right. That's right. He had a home.
And I lived in Newark.
His parents lived there?
Like from here to Laurel Road away.
Okay.
But it was kind of like the next town.
Okay. And what else did you do on your dates?
When we were together, let's see, we just sat around and went to the Crick was a place in Middletown, outside of Middletown, where a lot of kids would go, and huge rocks, and we'd take food and go out there and sit on the rocks and eat the food and then come back home, We didn't do anything spectacular.
But you just hung out together.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So.
Now you got married pretty quick after you met.
We did.
So how did all that happen? Did he propose a certain
way?
He
did. Yeah. He just said, and of course, like I say, he was still in a wheelchair, and I never thought anything about it. If I had, I thought maybe wouldn't have married him, because I would have figured, there's somebody I'm going to have to take care of the rest of my life. I didn't know how he was yet or anything, but it just worked out.
Yeah, it didn't bother you at all, right?
Yeah,
and you realized how
and when Dick
able he
got
was.
His feet for the first time, and I got out of the car, and then Dick got out, and my dad was sitting there under the grape arbor, and I said, Dick's coming, he wants to say hi to you. Well, my dad cried because he saw him walk for the first time.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah.
How wonderful. Yeah. What a wonderful feeling that must have been for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the preparations for your wedding, or who was in your wedding?
Dick's sister was my maid of honor, and his buddy Jimmy George was best man. And
remember where it was?
Yes, it was at Middletown Century Club, where they had all kinds of stuff going on, dances, and they only had 2 little steps. The church had so many steps. Once you got in the church, then you had more steps to get to, the area where they would marry you. And so the minister came to the Century Club.
So you didn't have to go to the church first.
And
right?
The gal that was on the organ was the one that worked at the high school, and she remembered Dick when he was in school. So she did all of the music and everything and didn't charge us anything. And I can't remember her name.
That's okay. Did you have a favorite song, or did they do that kind of thing?
Too young.
Too young? Anything else you remember? Any other stories about meeting Dick, or
Well, I lived on roller skates when I could, and so Dick had to try it. That was one thing he couldn't do.
Okay.
Because he didn't have control over his ankles.
Yeah.
But he tried.
Tried?
And he had fun trying.
He had fun. Had a lot of laughs,
yeah,
right?
Right, exactly.
Falling.
Yep, yep.
That's great. Okay. Okay. Good.